Hello and welcome everyone. I'm going to show you how to use the simple dialog manager with Invector third-person controller. I'm going to use the free Invector's third-person controller from the asset store as well as the free character from the asset store as well. So let's first create a simple plane and name it as floor for this demo, and let's assign the size of 10, 10, 10. Now it's time to import the free character. There is a character pack from Super Saiyan. Let's import it. And now let's import the Invector free asset. The third person controller basic locomotion free. And now let's import this simple dialog manager package I have locally created on my PC. Let's wait for the Invector till it's fully loads. Okay, it's done. And now let's import the simple dialog manager package from my PC. Alright, now we are ready to create our scene and to see how to integrate the simple dialog manager with Invector basic controller. Let's get back to our scene. So first let's create a simple material and give it gray floor, the gray floor name. So now let's change the color to gray and assign it to the floor. Let's go back to the assets, and here under Super Cyan there is a prefab for this character. So let's add it by clicking Invector basic locomotion, create basic controller, and let's drag it the FBX model here, and let's create it. Now we have created our character. Let's test it to check it is moving correctly. Yes, it's moving correctly. Very good. So now let's create a simple cube, and then the character, when it reaches this cube, it says, oh, it's a cube, using our simple dialog manager. So here's the cube. Let's add it here. Let's create another object, a sphere for example. Let's add it here. Now let's go back to the assets and the scenes, and let's create two extra materials. One, let's say green cube, and let's assign it to the cube, and red material, and let's assign it to the sphere. Now we're ready. Now it's time to play with the simple dialog manager. So we need to add a simple conversation with the cube when the player reaches the cube. So first of all, we need to add a simple dialog manager prefab. So let's go to the simple dialog manager folder and go to free prefabs, and then use the dialog manager here. Also, let's use the simple dialog used for the user interface, which is a simple canvas. Here we can find the character name, the character sentences, the character images, and the continue button. Let's see it. It should look like that. Here we'll add the character name, or the object who is talking or speaking, and here we'll add the sentence. Here's the button, and here is the character or the avatar image. Let's test. Now it's okay. You can find the sphere, we can find the cube. Let's go back to the dialog manager and let's assign the dialog UI game object here and the character image, as well as the character name and the character sentences. Please note that you can use another user interface based on the Text Mesh Pro, which is this one, but in this case you will need to use the appropriate dialog manager variables to be able to use the elements from the Text Mesh Pro dialog user interface. Let's go back to the dialog manager. Now here, let me explain quickly what is it composed from. So it's composed from this basic user interface, canvas user interface, and a drop down menu to select your default language. Here it's always preferable to use the English language by default, and here there are two options. We can add an extra event before any dialog starts, as well as an extra event after the dialog ends up. We'll see this button later, but let's first focus on finishing this dialog. So here we'll add a new conversation when the character reaches the dialog. So in this conversation, let's add the dialog here. How many sentences or how many people are talking? In this case, only one people, or only one person, sorry. So in this case it will be the player, and I'll add only one sentence here. So let's name the first sentence owner is player in this case, and we need to create a new image. Let's call it player, and let's add it. Let's add the character image in this UI canvas, image UI canvas. So let's go to assets, create, let's go to game objects, UI, and click on image. Let's rename it to player, and in this it will show up the player image. In this case we need to create a new camera and attach it to this player, and assign a render texture file in order to capture the character image and add it to this user interface. Let's do this now. Let's rename it player camera. Here is player camera, and we need to add a target texture, Either we can go to the sprites. I've created already some textures. Let's use this one. Otherwise we can simply create a new one by clicking render texture and rename it whatever we want. We can use by default 256 times 266 pixels. So in this case I have already created one, so I'm going to use it and assign it in this camera. And let's disable this one, and don't forget to delete or remove the audio listener. So now in this case we need to assign the camera correctly on the player's face. So let's move it this way and move it this way, and let's here you can see the camera, and that's okay. Okay, let's move back and go back to our conversation. So I rename it to en cube conversation or cube message, whatever, cube sentence, whatever. So let's assign the player in the images and make sure that the player or the owner name is player. And here's it. I'm going to write my message. Oh, that's a cube. This is a cube. Oh, this is a green cube. So let's test and see how it will work. As you can see, the UI is here. We need to move it away. The dialog doesn't show yet. So first, let's move this UI away so that it doesn't show. Otherwise, we can disable it. So now in order to show the message, we need to assign the script called player near object. So let's assign it, or let's attach it to the cube. So in case we need more than one language, I'm going to use a size of 2 if I want 2 languages, or 3 if I want 3 languages. In this case I want only the English language. Here I have to use the exact language name. We have it in this drop down list: English, French, German, Italian, Spanish. Otherwise it won't work correctly. So let's go back to the cube, and here we'll attach this conversation or this message. And by default, when the English is selected, this is by default activated during the game. Now let's test. Doesn't work. We need to move the dialog UI under the canvas to show up in the user interface. Of course, this was a mistake. So in this case, let's center it at the bottom of the screen. Doesn't show up yet. probably because the language active is not enabled. Let me check here. It's not working. Oh, I forgot. So we need to enable the is trigger in order to activate the dialog. Of course, I forgot to check it. Sorry for that. So here it say oh, but the sentence didn't. Oh, not all the sentence has show up. So let's clear it. So let's go back to the dialog sentence. Here we need to make sure that the size is correct. Here, say 400 and let's say 150, and let's move it this way. No, we need to move it a little bit. And this is the player name. We need to adjust a little bit, and this is the image. So in order to update the image, we need to add the update image script here. So we need to drag it there. Sorry, not this one. So where is update image? This one, yes. And here we need to assign the camera and the image to low. Here, image for the character, which is the player. Let's go back to the. Hey, he is here. It says, oh, this is a green cube. And now the dialog works perfectly. Here I can press enter, or I can press the next button. The next button is not working, so I have to click enter. So let's adjust the next button. So we need to attach the dialog manager script, then go to next sentence. Let's see here. Here it works. Now let's see when we change the language how it will work. Here I'm going to change the French, but actually I didn't add any French sentence yet. So let's go to the cube message. Sorry, let's go to the cube object and let's add an extra language. Here it says English, of course, but I have to change to French, and I have to create a new message. Let's say fr cube message. So let's type it. Thank you. Here And now let's see. So it's always English because we didn't change the language. Let's change the language now. Here's French. Let's see how the message has changed. See here. The English, as you can see here, the English, when I set the language to English, by default, the English was activated. So let's change the language to French. Let's see what happens here. The language has been activated automatically. Let's see how it will work. And here it works. So I have to just to change the player to the French translation. So I have to go here under cube, under the message, and then change this to joueur, and now everything will work fine. Here I used the English. Let's change the French one. Here it changed. Similarly, I can do this for the sphere or for any other character, non-player NPC character, or whatever, any other character. Now let's see how I'm going to add the audio or the voices to my scene or my game. To add any voice, I have to record it. Oh, it's a cube. In order to add audio files, I have to record the file and then add it from the dialog manager. Here I shall click this button and go to resources under the assets folder, and here, this is for attached example, I can add any audio file of extension OGG or MP3 or all supported audio files in Unity. So let's say in this case I'm going to use this one, in cube 1. Let's hear it. Hello, my name is Cube. So it's hello, my name is Cube. So let's change it here. So this is the cube. We're telling that. I can change this to cube. So adding an extra image, name it cube, and add it under the canvas here. And let's attach a camera here, another camera here in front of the cube, and this is cube camera. Let's make sure that the camera is oriented towards this here. So this is the cube. Let's use one of the available sprites here for the cube camera. course, don't forget to delete the audio listener and disable the camera, as this one is not the main camera. Here, this is the player 1, this is the cube 1. Let's see here what the cube will say. We need to disable or to hide this image and attach it to the conversation. So let's see here, let's say here what will happen. Say hello, my name is Cube. As we can see, the avatar didn't show. Why? Because we didn't add the script update image here. Let's say update image, and let's add the cube camera for the update image as well as the avatar for the cube. Let's retest. Here the cube says hello, my name is Cube. Next, and the dialog ends. So let's say we want to add a voice. In this case, let's use this example, which is under the resources folder, as we have seen before. This is en-cube. Let's hear it.
Hello, my name is Cube.
In this case, we'll use this sound path as a location. So I'm going to use just English, and I'm going to use one sound file. Let's say sound file message 1, and add the file here, drag and drop the file, and let's see how it will work.
Hello, my name is Cube.
And here it is, it works, the audio. In case this file is under the resources folder, I will leave the sound file path empty. In case there are two folders, folder 1 or folder two recursive folders, folder 2 inside folder 1, so I write it folder 1 and folder 2 this way. Let's keep it as en for the moment to let it work. Now I need to do a simple event at this step. Let's say I'm going to scale the sphere here, the red sphere. So where is the red sphere here? I'm going to add this script called scale up. Scale object, here this one. Let's see what will happen at the end of this conversation when I want to scale the sphere. So let's attach a sphere here and scale object. Let's say I'm going to move it up. Let's see how it will work. When I run the first message here, this is the sphere.
Hello, my name is Cube. Hello, my name is Cube.
I guess I will increase a little bit the movement position.
Hello, my
Here we can see this sphere has moved up as per the action I have already added during the conversation. Here, this one. We can also change the dialog UI from here. I have added two horizontally flipped callouts. Also, there are some more samples here. We can use it whatever you want, or you can use any PSD or any callout or any text you want, any graphics you want in your game, but just make sure that the alignments are okay and the positions are okay. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like the simple dialog manager assets. It will be soon on the Unity Assets store. Thank you.